Good evening and welcome to the Whisky Lover Society with me, Gert Retief, and tonight we are looking at the GlenDronach 15-year-old Revival. Quite excited about it. I had the 18-year-old, I had the 21-year-old, I had the 12-year-old. I had some peated version of the GlenDronach, so I've had quite a few of them. And I never had the 15, so I saw an opportunity 2 weeks ago to get a bottle of the older version, a 2018 bottle of the GlenDronach. So I'm quite excited to give it a little nosing and tasting tonight. It is the Revival series. It is a single malt Scotch whisky from the Highland region in Scotland, bottled at 46% ABV, and of course they are non-chill filtered and no color added. And please, I'm not going to go into the politics with the new owners, Brown and Foreman, what they are doing with it, with the chill filtration and all those things. I'm not really interested in it. For me, it's all about the nosing and the tasting. So I'm not going to rant and rave on this topic. So it is matured in ex-Pedro Jimenez cask as well as Oloroso sherry cask, and I paid about €75 for the bottle. So I'm going to start with the color. Color-wise, it is a nice, natural, dark copper color. Love the color, and I love the fact that it is still a natural color. So on the nose, cheers. That is really nice. Now, when I started my journey into whiskies many years ago, it was blended whiskies all the way. Much of the whiskies that you can get in South Africa years ago was only blended scotches. And so when I started growing up, getting a little my own salary, of course I could buy a little bit better and more expensive whiskies. And since I've moved into Belgium more than 6 years ago, I started experimenting and experiencing some nice single malt whiskies. Not looking back, very happy about it. And my first journey into making YouTube videos, I was chasing the sherry bombs. A lot of hit and miss with regards to sherry cask finish. And so GlenDronach was always my go-to dram, and I think it was one of the best sherry finishes. And when I experienced and found the Edredauer 10, I was very impressed with that. Little pushed aside the GlenDronach, and until I found the GlenDronach 18. Bloody expensive, especially the older version now. To find it is going to cost quite a lot of money. I still have an unopened GlenDronach 18 from 2019, so I will keep that for a special occasion. But tonight, on the nose on the GlenDronach, it is so inviting. It is so sweet. In fact, they do call it a little bit of a sherry monster. In fact, for me, on the nose, it is sherry. It is all the sherry notes that you are going to get when you open up a bottle of sherry. It is really inviting, big raisin notes coming out. The sweetness is there. The figs, dates, glazed cherries, sweetness. I get a hint of a mint also coming out, but not every time. Just every now and again you get a little cold minty nose. A little bit of a vanilla. Definitely Christmas cake in a glass. I also get a little bit like an old piece of leather that has been maybe waxed a couple many years. That nice smell that I get from old leather. Really fantastic. So look-wise, it looks also a little bit on the oily side for me, and that I really appreciate when I know when I'm going to drink it, I'm going to get that little bit of an oily mouthfeel to it. So if you're looking for something on the nose that smells like sherry, or maybe smells like a sherry with a little bit of a higher ABV, I think this is definitely for you. If you like the sweet things, the sugar teeth, this is one for you. So on the taste, cheers. This is sherry with a high ABV. Absolutely. Proof up a bottle of sherry, and this is what you get. The oily mouthfeel that I was getting on the looks, definitely there. There's a little bit of a creamy note for me as well. Alcohol wise, I do get the alcohol. On the nose, I did not really get that 46% ABV, but on the taste, definitely it does tell me that there is a little bit of a higher proof alcohol. Also, what I get is the raisins, that dried fruits coming out. It's like taking a handful of raisins, maybe a couple of sultanas, and a little bit of figs, put it in your mouth, chew it. That is the result that you're going to get. All this mouth coating sweet flavors covers your whole mouth, making you a happy man. We give it one more try. In fact, on that dried fruit, add a little bit of a toffee, and you get that little sweet raisins, sultanas, figs, and then I also get that hint of a toffee note. It's getting better with every sip. It's also a little bit of a dark chocolate component, and I would describe it something like that raisins that covered with chocolate. I think it's quite similar to that. So you get that little chocolatey note, and when you get the raisin note and the extra sweetness upon sweetness upon sweetness, this is what you get in this glass. Oak-wise, let me just give it one more try to make sure. For a 15-year-old, I was expecting there's going to be quite a lot of oak. If I remember correctly, the 12-year-old had more oak for me than this one. This one has got almost no oak for me. And the people that watch my channel know I hate oaky whiskies. And I think that's also why I was holding back on the 15-year-old, because I was a little bit worried. No need to worry for people that don't like oak. Definitely very little oak for me. Just give it one more try. Absolutely fantastic. On the finish. So for me, it's also a nice little journey from that sweet raisins that you get from the start, that little toffee note, a little bit of a chocolate note, and then a little bit of a sweet oak in the end, never turning into a bitter note. Quite a medium to long finish that just lingers in your mouth, that sweetness with that hint of an oak in the end. Absolutely fantastic. Score-wise, very happy with this one. I am going to give it 90 out of 100. Also one of the top scores for me in the last couple of months. And I think this was the top score for the year of 2022. Not sure about the new version. Maybe in the future I will get a sample or get a bottle of the newer version to do a little bit of a comparison to see if there's a big difference. So my final thoughts on this whiskey. Buy it, buy it, buy it. If you are into sweet whiskies, if you are into a sherry monster, this is definitely one for you. You don't like a lot of oaky notes, this one is for you. It is 78 euros. I'm sure you can get it cheaper somewhere else. If you see it, buy it. Give me a comment. Let me know what you think. Did you find the same notes that I did? Did you find additional notes that you would like to tell me about it? I always like reading about your thoughts on the whiskey as well. So with that, thank you very much. Like and subscribe, and I see you next time. Cheers.